All right, so right here, first article. This is from Variety. It says Ezra Miller allegedly threatens couple after arrest, restraining order filed against the actor. Now, yesterday we covered this just kind of as an aside because he's had a bunch of stuff happen in the last couple of years where he's very clearly struggling, whether it's with his fame, whether it's with chemicals. I don't know. I can attribute a lot of erratic behavior to things like that, but in absence of proof, that's not my place to speculate,
right.
But or at least it's not my place to say for sure, but it is my place to say that erratic behavior doesn't just come out of nowhere.
True.
And then you could tie this into whether this has to do with people enabling him, whether it's the dark side or the downside of that industry that he's in, that the behavior is not being punished. At least not on a studio level. So we'll start here. It says Ezra Miller has been hit with a temporary restraining order by 2 residents in Hilo, a small town in Hawaii where Miller was arrested earlier this week. The Fantastic Beasts and the Flash actor was released after paying $500 in bail and then reportedly, so that's where we got to yesterday. We got through up till they were talking about he had $500 in bail. I'm like, that's very small, but but for I guess it was only for disturbing the peace, and it was for there was no physical altercation.
Yeah.
And so he gets out on his $500 bail. You'd think he would be thanking his lucky stars. And it says, and then reportedly threatened a couple on the property they've been staying at in Hawaii. The Associated Press reports. According to Hawaii Police Assistant Chief Kenneth Kiancho, I forgot how to pronounce it. I tried to pronounce it. I tried to listen to it, but I couldn't get it right. So it says, the police escorted Miller off the property hours after they posted bail. A resident on the property called the police and asked for advice on removing 2 house guests. The restraining order against Miller says the actor burst into the Hilo couple's bedroom, threatened them, and then stole some of their property, including passport, bank cards, wallet. And then, so I had more on that in the other article, but we'll get there. I brought up a couple of things regarding his arrest. It says the temporary restraining order against Miller was filed on Tuesday, March 29th. The actor was arrested Monday, the 28th. I have this other article. It's not on yours there, but it's just from, first of all, when you look at this picture, he looks annoyingly happy. All right.
Yeah,
if you're listening to the podcast, go look at his booking photo. That's literally the face of somebody who knows he's going to have no repercussions for what happened to him. That's my interpretation of it.
Yeah, and that hairstyle's not doing it for him.
No.
Actually, I like him with the longer hair more than
I've seen other photos where his hair is long like that, but it just looks too wild. I prefer like his shorter haircut.
Well, I think given the way he's been acting, the long hair kind of fits the persona that he's living right now.
He should play as Joker.
Yeah,
something like that.
So I brought up the People article for this quote. It says, the complaint alleges that Miller burst into the bedroom of the petitioners and threatened the alleged male victim by saying, quote, I will bury you and your slut wife.
Whoa.
On Monday.
Whoa.
So now we're into threats of that is a death threat.
That is
a death threat.
Yep.
The document claims that Miller stole some of the alleged victims' personal property, including social security card, wallet, passport, driver's license, and bank cards. So he broke. This is.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, remember, this is all alleged. We can't know for sure, but if this actually happened, he very much broke into somebody's house and robbed them while shouting crazy shit.
Yeah,
that's insane. They're talking about now about their law, about their claims. It says, the respondent is famous and wealthy. The document continues. This makes access to weapons much easier, as well as sending associates to harass the petitioner.
Yeah,
that could absolutely happen. I mean, I don't know about the weapons part being, I guess, easier, I suppose, but depending on where you live, I would be more worried about this dude being able to hire just people to just go and harass them.
Right.
I don't see Ezra Miller being very fond of firearms. The document signed by both but then again, what do I know?
Who knows?
Right? The document signed by both petitioners Tuesday also said that unless respondents' wrongful conduct is stopped or prevented by an order of court, petitioners will suffer substantial emotional distress, which means they have a lawsuit claim, or at least it looks like as if they're building the grounds for a lawsuit claim in there. It says Miller has allegedly been staying at the couple's home while in Hawaii. Radar reports after one of them met with the actor at a farmer's market. So he just met them randomly
and stays with them.
That's
all shady. I don't like that.
This is weird. It says sources told the outlet that the couple bailed Miller out of jail on a $500 bond.
Really?
Yes.
That was
No.
them. They're the ones that did it. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That allegedly barged in. So let's just say this, they could be making this up. I don't know why they would, but they could be. People do crazy shit for crazy reasons. It says, as the matter remains as an part of an ongoing investigation, the Hawaii Police Department has no comment. People reached out to Miller's representatives and awaiting response. I'm sure they're not going to.
Right.
I do think that this is a problem because he is non-binary.
Yeah.
I do believe that plays a role in the fact that he's not being punished by the industry.
Interesting.
I don't see. I think that because he is wearing somewhat of a shield. This is not me trying to be disrespectful to him or what he's with through, but I think that people are going to be hesitant to punish him for fear of being called names or for being labeled as some type of phobe or ist or that. And in the meantime, you get this picture of this dude. Can I say dude?
Yeah. I think so.
I haven't
Right?
said.
'Cause
I don't think I've done his pronouns wrong yet.
No, I don't
but,
think so. I think you're fine.
For them, this is a problem. But nobody else is going to push back on this because they know that you're going to get labeled. And that is right now the most powerful force in this industry is the ability to label people based on group specifics.
It's so cowardly to just be like, all right, we're not going to enforce justice because we might be called names. That's scary.
The other article says Ezra Miller arrest restraining order happens week after another incident with the actor at a bar. So this isn't even counting the one. So we had the one in Reykjavik last year where he picked the woman by the neck and threw her to the ground. Nothing happened. He had this weird tirade where he said he hated the KKK as if that's not the default position of most of the world, which is my favorite kind of virtue signal, the emptiest of virtue signal. It's like me saying like, I hate people who drink and drive.
Yeah. Same.
Everybody hates people who drink and drive. So, and then another incident at a bar, then this, and then the other, and did I write it down? He was been called since March 7th. He has had 10 police calls made
I saw
against him.
that.
10 of them.
That's insane. So at first it looked like this couple might be like after him for his money or something.
Yeah.
But if they're the ones that bailed him out of jail, first of all, and they're like giving him shelter in their own house, I feel like they're not out to get him. I feel like he's maybe just losing it.
This dude has money. I'm assuming this dude has money.
Obviously,
starring in such high role in such roles. They're in the process of the new Fantastic Beast comes out in like less than 2 weeks or something like that. So he's not on the press tour for that, and he's in that movie.
Interesting.
Like, would you want this dude on your press tour?
No.
I mean, maybe as long as it doesn't happen in a bar.
He's a liability.
As long as it doesn't happen in a bar, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he just hates bars.
I don't know. Maybe he's an alcoholic.
Like I said,
maybe
in recovery, you shouldn't be there. Say he is trying to get clean, then he wouldn't be
there
theoretically wouldn't be at a bar. But it seems to me more like somebody who's young and responding negatively to substance abuse, or I guess just issues with fame and
affluenza.
And that's a good point. So there's one more article that just pulls up, and it says Ezra Miller's causing major problems with Flash, Batman, Aquaman, and Batgirl. You cannot, when you do this is the one pitfall, I suppose, now of building a connected universe is that you cannot extricate yourself from any of it. So now you have hundreds of actors, or I guess dozens of actors, all of which represent your global brand, and none of them can be out of line.
Right.
And this is articles based off Grace Randolph had a video on it. I did not watch the video, but I did read the article. She's known to have her insiders in the industry. I used to watch her a lot. I'm one of those people. A lot of people make fun of her voice. I love her voice. She has a very unique voice. So it says Grace. It says I can't explain everything because it's delicate and sensitive. Okay, no, I want to go down here. It says Batgirl is a mess. Michael Keaton cut from Aquaman 2, and then it says Ezra has always had problems. So we'll start up here where it says Ezra is the real reason for release date changes. So basically, she's saying that his problems are what's causing this. So it says she offers insights into what is going on as the YouTuber claims that the problems surrounding Ezra are the real reason for the major shift in DC movie release dates. We covered that here. A bunch of stuff got shifted from the end of 2022 into 2023. and they're apparently doing this working around him. So it says, with the original film plan for The Flash being released November 4th ahead of other DC films, but now the movie has been released to June 23rd, 2023, so almost an entire year. And this movie's been through delay after delay. This movie was supposed to come out in like 2017 or 2018.
He is not helping.
No.
They cannot be happy about this.
And he's not, it's not like he's well liked as that kid. I could understand if we're talking Robert Downey Jr., who's like synonymous with Iron Man. People love him as that character. Maybe it's worth all this work. But in a world where you could just use the multiverse and Flashpoint to recast, I can't imagine why they're not just recasting. And like I said, I mean, no disrespect for him. I have all the empathy in the world for what he's going through, but all of my problems in all my days, I did not have billion-dollar franchises, taking a loss at this. I'm looking at it purely from a business standpoint.
Well, you mentioned Robert Downey Jr., and he is somebody who had problems with
heavy problems.
Yeah, so he of all people should understand this. And I think that if the franchise were fully sympathetic to him, they would remove him from the project. They would help him find help. They would seriously take his well-being very much to heart.
And we hear stories about this where they're enabled and they it's basically out of sight, out of mind. As long as the actor makes it to his call time and does a good job, they don't really care what they do. But in this day and age, how is that even allowed? When everybody is thrown under the eye of social media, and when you're constantly being I have a new take on cancel culture today that is just, it's a lot different than what I thought it was before. Not different, but I have a new way of kind of explaining it to myself. But we'll get into that in the next segment. But for this, he really does have a security around him, being of a marginalized group, that for all the problems that may cause him in his life with people, it does not excuse his behavior.
Right.
And in a world where he's part, like I always say, where art meets commerce, the commerce has to eventually play a part in it, and they have to take his well-being seriously for the good of their own franchise, not just for his own well-being, but for the good of the billions of dollars they've put into these movie franchises. Warner Brothers is in the middle of their sale right now from AT&T to Discovery Plus. So it says the Flash release, so it moved to June 2023. While reports have claimed that DC release date changes are due to the pandemic causing delay of visual effects, Randolph says that's only partly true, as the real reason is because Ezra Miller's behavior, which has caused issues with DC films regarding continuity, reshoots, and some scenes. So she goes down here and she says, I had tweeted last night because I was finally able to tell you this because the arrest kind of makes it fair game. So she's saying she kept it out of the public eye for a while, and this kind of makes it like she doesn't have to keep it quiet. Says that part of the reason The Flash was delayed for so long was because of some issues with Ezra Miller. So yes, definitely visual effects played a hand in the delay of the DCEU films. They have a lot of effects and they weren't going to be ready by the end of the year, but The Flash's delay all the way to June 2023 and going in last place all of a sudden really puzzled a lot of us. We are all kind of like, that makes absolutely no sense. So I guess they want to get this dude on solid footing before, and they talk about here. It says Ezra Miller has always had problems. It says Randolph also says Ezra Miller has always had problems and that people are concerned for the actor's well-being, as they should be. So they just talk about how he's not even doing press tours right now because of all the things that have been going on. But it says, I'll read this last paragraph. It says, so again, the visual effects are certainly a factor, and I think The Flash would have been delayed, but not as much as being delayed because of what really is going on here. A large part of it is Ezra Miller's personal issues. Now, Ezra Miller has always had problems behind the scenes. He is a difficult person, says Randolph. Now things have suddenly gotten serious for Ezra Miller. All I wanted to say here is that it concerns Ezra Miller's mental health and safety. So I don't feel comfortable, and people making jokes and stuff doesn't vibe with what people in the industry know, and that is Ezra Miller is having problems. I don't want to give too much of the timetable away, but let's just say before the announcement was made, Ezra Miller basically decided that he wanted to be left alone by everyone, including Hollywood. Well, that's very difficult when you have a contract and you're part of these interconnected worlds with, maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is him trying to basically bad behavior his way out of what's going on.
Maybe so.
They mentioned that one thing that really bummed me was they talk about how they're going to deal with mental illness in The Flash. And I'm just like, oh, no. I get it. It's topical. Not everything needs to be about that. Nobody wants to go to these billion-dollar movies to be lectured or have super... They just want to see the dude enter the Speed Force, save Iris, and be a hero.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
They
Yeah.
don't care about the rest of that. That's not me being disrespectful. That is just telling you the hard fact that escapist entertainment is considered escapist for a reason.
Exactly.
So I just, it kind of boggles my mind because this dude is clearly struggling right now.
Right.
And I hope he gets help, but it doesn't seem like with that much law consistently being involved, he needs to find a, I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if this is drugs, if this is just maybe he's suffering from mental health issues that go beyond that need medication.
Right.
Any of those things are possible, and we can all hope to God that he gets the help, or that, they get the help that they need, but we can't know that for sure. All we can see is the outcome of what we see in these reports, and it's not good.
I do very much feel bad for him, but at the same time, I get so frustrated when these influential people get off scot-free. Like a $500 bail? Are you kidding? Someone can just walk in and, like, it's nothing.
It didn't bother me until I saw the photo, and it was like, he's like laughing at you.
Yeah, he really is. His face is one of such smugness, and it looks like contempt, to the point that it's like, okay, even if this is mental illness, there's very much a personality factor here that would make him very difficult to work with. She mentioned that in some of her commentary. It's like, I don't know how compassionate people are going to be to him and how sympathetic they're going to be if he's been a jerk for most of his professional life.
You can only burn so many bridges.
Exactly.
I don't know. For me, I'm like, I kind of like Ezra when he first was getting popular, but now I'm like, I could live without him. Why is he important to people? I don't know. Why is he getting away with this?
He's getting away with it because he has money.
Yeah.
Because he has status. And especially like when we talked about what happened with the Oscars, which we'll get into here in a second again. Like Hollywood PD isn't going to want to press charges against celebrities.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
They like half their funding comes
Can't,
from
yeah.
they can't.
How come Hulu's not doing a documentary about Hollywood PD and why they're not doing certain cases against these?
Because it's not a music. Because it's not music. Or no, who's the one that does all the music?
No, right now Hulu is doing the documentary about Ukraine and Russia.
that's right.
Who's doing all the music? Is that Amazon Prime that's doing all the?
I think it's both Amazon Prime and Hulu.
One of them had an Astroworld documentary
That's
done in
Hulu.
like 7 days.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah.
the Hulu
really
one.
creepy.
Speedy, like vultures.
Really creepy.
Yuck.
Like, yeah.
Yuck.
Not a fan.
Hulu's secretly the one who's like
They're
causing all of
doing
it.
all this stuff.
Disney. Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney. It's all Disney. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.